President Donald Trump just went on Timcast IRL to over 100,000 live viewers. But let's go ahead and cut out all the fluff and just listen to the only presidential candidate with enough mental capacity to actually appear on a podcast.
Surprisingly, immigration is a top issue for them now. And I know that you've said that there's going to be the largest deportation effort. Yeah. How do we do it?
So millions and millions of people are coming into our country. They have open borders where people just flow in. And many of those people are coming from prisons. Many of those people, frankly, are murderers and they're drug dealers and they're coming from mental institutions. We're going to start with that and we have to get them out. No country can sustain what we're going through. I believe the number is 15, 16 million, could even be 17 million people right now. That's more than that's bigger than almost all of our states.
How do we do it though? I mean, is it going to be new personnel?
It will really be done with local police. You know, the respect has been taken away, the honor has been taken away from our police forces. They're not allowed to do anything. And this is from all over the world, not just South America, which is big enough. But they're coming in from the Congo, they're coming in from all parts of Africa, they're coming in from all parts of Asia, and it's an invasion into our country, and no country can handle this. So we're going to have them taken out. Local police, we're going to work very closely with the local police, and it's been done before.
And he's not wrong, as these instances of, quote, newcomers crash landing on California beaches are increasing every day, and even when you hear police sirens in the background, there is nothing they can currently do. Even if Trump wins and secures the border, there's already a reported 11 to 20 million of Biden's newcomers in the country already, and enabling local law enforcement to conduct deportations puts the elected mayors and sheriffs of each area, not the federal government, in charge of either conducting mass deportations or staying a sanctuary city. So when tragedies like Lake and Riley occur, it's easy for Biden to just simply ignore it, tucked away in his mansion. But the local elected officials will absolutely have to respond. Then Tim asked Trump if he will genuinely drain the swamp this time.
Many of the libertarians here, we want to see firings. We want to see, in the bureaucracy, corrupt individuals, the bloat.
So we had some great people because our trade numbers were fantastic. The jobs we did on trade, the jobs we did, frankly, in the military underneath the terrible television generals who were absolutely terrible, but we have incredible people. You know, we defeated ISIS, and we had no new wars because they were concerned with us. Generally speaking, we had very good people, but we had some that we have to do better. Attorney General, we have to get a great Attorney General. The difference is I now know sort of everybody, and I'm not having to be relying on people that I didn't know very well and listen to their recommendations. And I think we're going to have phenomenal people. I know the people. I know the good ones, the bad ones, the weak ones, the strong ones. I think we're going to have great people.
And it's already looking better, as Trump is keeping former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy close, who has similar sentiments.
Shut down the FBI. Shut down the ATF. Shut down the CDC. Shut down the U.S. Department of Education. Fire 75% of the federal bureaucrats in Washington, D.C.
And I've been critical of Trump's claims to drain the swamp, but it does make sense that a man with no background in politics would have no idea on who to put in which positions. So I'll just be hopeful that if given another opportunity, this time with experience, he would be able to make better decisions in 2025. Because I like Trump's stance on war.
What are you looking at when you enter your next term to stopping the escalation?
Well, first of all, I'm the only one that is going to stop World War III, because this man can't put two sentences together. I don't want to see wars. I think it's so horrible, so unnecessary, so costly in terms of lives and money in that order. You can solve problems over a telephone. Instead, they start dropping bombs. I see recently they're dropping bombs all over Yemen. You don't have to do that. You can talk in such a way where they respect you and they listen to you. Viktor Orban of Hungary, you know, the leader, they call him a strong man. He said the problem the world has is that Donald Trump is no longer president. When he was president, China didn't play around, Russia didn't play around, nobody played around, and we had no problems. Today, the whole world is on fire.
They maybe thought there was a 5% chance you'd nuke them. And so that kept them in line. It's kind of scary to think about.
As nobody, and I mean nobody, let alone a world leader with their own personal army and nuclear codes, is afraid of the guy that can't even make it through a Memorial Day speech. As Trump said, he's a mean guy, but he works for you. And honestly, if all we have to do is endure mean tweets in exchange for world peace, I think that's a price everybody's willing to pay. As I remember when I lived back in LA, there was this one local copper that was always just in your face about everything. Kind of a jerk, but he's patrolling a bad area, so it comes with the territory. But in the event my home or vehicle is being broken into, that is the exact cop that I want responding to my call. Because sometimes it's best to get Scruff McGruff, the friendly police mascot, and sometimes you just want the junkyard dog to come lay down the law. And in a way, world leaders seeing Trump holding the nuclear codes in one hand, simultaneously calling people fat slobs on Twitter in the other hand, is just a level of uncertainty that we need. But then Trump went into the lockdowns.
Elon Musk tweeted, "Prosecute Fauci." Fauci lied to Congress about the gain-of-function research that was going on.
Fauci wasn't a big player in my administration like he was after I left. I mean, Biden made him the king of everything. And in fact, I did things that he didn't want to do. He wanted to keep it open to China. I said, you got to close it to China because it was all coming out of China. It was coming out of Wuhan, which I said right at the beginning. And what people don't realize, I believe in federalism. I gave the power to governors. Some governors did a great job. In all cases, they were Republicans. And some, like in South Carolina, Henry McMaster, kept everything open. Others didn't. The Democrats did a bad job, very bad job.
Which is in stark contrast to what he was saying before.
I had to shut it down, and we did the right thing.
I thought of keeping it open.
And we did just the right thing. We closed it down.
And a group of very smart people walk in and say, sir, we have to close it. And we did the right thing. They can't do anything without the approval of the President of the United States.
And how much he used to back the Beagle Butcher.
Dr. Fauci's a very nice man, but we let him do what he wants to do. He gets a lot of television. He loves being on television, and we let him do it. Sometimes he says things that are a little bit off, and they get built up, unfortunately, but he's a nice guy. I like him. But he's called a lot of bad calls. He said, don't wear a mask, and he said, don't ban China. They were bad calls. He admits that. And I don't hold that against him. If I did, I wouldn't have him. No, I think he's a nice guy. Huh? I don't want to. I don't want to hurt him. He's been there for about 350 years. I don't want to hurt him.
Between this and Operation Warp Speed, I've never been a fan of Trump's approach to any of this. And I think even Trump knows this, as less than a year ago he was still bragging about Operation Warp Speed, getting booed by the people that even waited hours outdoors to hear his speech, which I think is a good thing, because it shows that they don't see him as a cult leader. When he does something that we don't agree with, people aren't afraid to show it. While on the other side, they can see their president arming their enemies, destroying the economy, revealing that certain laptops and diaries are real, and they will still never question if he's their guy. Because Trump does have good ideas too.
You announced you're taking cryptocurrency.
What we're doing is we're backing it as a field, and we have to, because otherwise somebody else is going to be doing it from another country. And as you know, they're already trying.
No central bank digital currencies.
No central bank.
As he echoed this statement in his speech later to the Libertarians.
And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
And when Tim asked him about the pardons that he didn't grant during his last presidency.
One more big one. Will you pardon Julian Assange?
Well, I'm going to talk about that today, and we're going to give it very serious consideration. And we're going to have a couple of other things to say in the speech that I think you're going to love.
I've heard some rumors.
And you've gotten so much out of me, I should leave a little bit for the speech, don't you think?
To which he never did address him specifically.
I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served.
So all in all, I think Tim Pool did an amazing job with the limited amount of time he had with the president.
We better win. We're not going to have a country.
Which is probably why he's already sitting on over 700,000 views on a live stream just last night, when he typically sees a third of that viewership typically. And when you look for Biden's online imprint, this is the result you get when you search for the President of the United States. A fake AI channel of him playing video games with Trump. Because obviously nobody's actually searching for his actual YouTube page, as they struggle to pull in even 10,000 views. And in what world does some weird Kirkland brand Sub-Zero get more views than the sitting President of the United States of America? Apparently it's this one, and it's terrible, because even though I have somewhat of a following online, I can acknowledge that I'm fairly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, as I always one day hope to get on Timcast IRL, and I have been to the Cast Castle, was on their other pop culture show, and got to very briefly meet Tim. But now that he's having Donald Trump, Kanye West, Joe Rogan, and Alex Jones on a show, I know my window to get on there has closed. And that's coming from someone that is apparently more popular than the president online. But if you appreciate my concise, light-hearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on why Biden looks like an entirely different person in videos posted on the same day.